Hey everybody, Jen here of Gen X Website Design and Strategy. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to add Facebook reviews to a Squarespace website with the Common Ninja Facebook Reviews widget. It's really important to demonstrate your authority on your website. And you can do that in a few different ways. One way is to include badges. Another way is to show places where you've been featured. But a really great way to demonstrate your authority is to display testimonials. This is how I'm doing it on my homepage. And on my local SEO page, I have an additional badge for people who are local to New Hampshire. And I've embedded my Google reviews, which I'll include a link to this also below this video. But reviews are super important because your potential customers want to know that someone went before you. And it's even more impactful when they're willing to publicly stand behind those claims. In addition to showing you how to embed Facebook reviews onto your website, I would encourage you to check out a couple of my digital products, Proof Builder and Authority Signals. Proof Builder is going to help you collect those coveted testimonials and get people to answer the questions that your potential clients want answered. This is great for feedback for your business, but when it comes to crafting testimonials for your business, it's absolute gold. And then Authority Signals helps you identify that hidden authority that you have, but you're just having a hard time conveying on your website. The practical fill in the blank workbook that's going to help you uncover that authority that you might be missing, and also how to clarify and convey it on your website. So check those out. When you click the link below this video, it is going to bring you to this page. You can get started for free. Great. And usually the first thing I do is just toggle this off. But if you get stuck while you're working on this project and you want to ask the AI editor a question, just toggle it back on, and it's actually pretty helpful. So to get started, you have to actually copy and paste the URL of your business Facebook page right here. But pay attention because I did that and it didn't work for me. So then I read this a little more closely and I noticed that there's a /reviews that you have to enter after you copy and paste the URL for your Facebook page. So here's mine. And I just want to qualify this. I am not active on social media. I am not active on Facebook, hardly at all. And I do not seek to get reviews on Facebook at all. But this is a great widget for you if you do. And if you have a lot of Facebook reviews, this is a great way to display those on your website. Personally, I try to get more Google reviews than I do Facebook reviews because I really optimize my website for SEO. And I think that that is where people are going to look and where they're going to go to learn more about me. But if you have a lot of Facebook reviews, this is great for you. So I just copied and pasted the URL to my Facebook business page right there. And I'm adding a / and reviews, and I'm going to hit submit. And it does take a few minutes. So you just got to be patient here. Okay. So once you've done that, you can see all 2 of my reviews, which are quite old, as you can see, but they will show up right here. And let me just show you what some of your options are in here. You can decide how many of these you want with this drop down menu. If you have lots of reviews, so you can choose as many as you want. I do caution you not to put too many reviews on your website because if you have a lot, I feel like they don't get read at all. Better to keep it to a minimum, not to go crazy. Okay, and then you can also filter these by minimum rating, which seems a little bit like cheating, but that's all right, I guess. And also sometimes people they might leave you 5 stars, but then leave it totally blank. I've had that happen at Google for me. So you might opt to just show the reviews that actually show text there. And I'm not going to go over every single one of these in every tab because you don't need me to. It's very self-explanatory, not rocket science, but I do just want to highlight a few things that I think are worth looking at. Okay. You also can sort these by new to old or old to new, and that might be relevant to you. But I'm going to hop right over into the look and feel tab here. So this is where you can decide how you want this laid out. And as I said before, you just don't want a gazillion reviews on your page because nobody's going to read a gazillion reviews. So These are some options for how you can have these laid out. I do not recommend this one. Don't use this one because if you use this one, people aren't going to read it. Okay. Moving text is frustrating and you're literally expecting your visitor to go the extra step, take the extra step and like pause. And I just don't think that that's a good idea. Okay, so I'm going back over to this layout, which is kind of like a grid layout. And then you can see you have a few more options down here. So just check those out and see which one you like the best. I think I'm going to stick with this one for now. But if you chose this one, which you're not going to do because I just told you that that's a bad idea, you're going to see you only actually have two options here. Okay. But for these others, you have all three. And then, of course, this is where you can add your own branding. Oh, okay. And you might want to keep the blue because that's kind of like the Facebook blue, but I am going to actually change it. So I'm just going to put the hex code of my pink color right here. And for me, I'm going to probably just leave the white. And you can see that there's also a bunch of presets in here, but you should use your own brand colors. And you can see that Facebook actually doesn't change color, probably because this is their brand color and they don't want anybody to mess with it. All right, now let's just hop over to the advanced button. And some of this is repeated. For example, reviews to display. You can choose your font type here. So this isn't rocket science. Okay, you can change your font. And then you can actually change the background color if you want to. So you can see how, well, let's just see if I choose like this orange color. Okay, so it changes this section right here. So just for fun, I put my blue color right in there just to see what it would look like. And the rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to custom because there is just one thing that I like to change myself in here. Most of this you probably don't need to mess with, but I am going to change the header button and I'm going to typography, show more options because I just like to have this text in here in all caps. That's just me. Okay. Other than that, for me, there's nothing else in here that's important to me, but you can play around with this until you get it how you like it, but there's usually no reason to really fuss around with this stuff that much. Yes, you want it to match your brand, but the most important thing is the content, right? We're putting these on your website because we want people to read them. So we don't really need to embellish this a whole lot. Okay, we want to actually properly make it as simple as possible. All right, so I'm going over to the settings now. And there's a couple of things on here that may be helpful. You may or may not want the header. I would probably leave it there just because it does give people the opportunity to leave a review, although it's unlikely that anybody's going to leave you a Facebook review from your website. So I don't think it would be harmful to remove it. And you could use a text block on your Squarespace website and create your own heading for this section. The other thing I want to show you is you can remove the Facebook logo by toggling right here. You can remove where it says my reviews. You can remove that by toggling right here. You could also remove these 5 stars by toggling that, but who would want to do that, right? You can also remove where it says 2 reviews right there, show header total reviews, which would probably be good for me since I only have 2. You can hide the header button. You could even remove the thumbnail image of the person who left the review. This is the one I would definitely remove if I was actually putting this on my website, the time right there. I wouldn't really want people to see that they're from 4 years ago and 6 years ago. And you can hide the text, but I don't know why you would want to do that because the whole purpose of putting these on your website is so that people will read them. All right. So I think that's pretty good. You do have the option here of activating AI. And basically what that does is it would take a minute. And since I only have 2, it might not even do it. But when this is embedded on your website, it would look just like this. The reviews would be here, but then your website visitor can select top features and there would actually be an AI summary right here. Sorry that I can't show you that because I only have 2. I only have 2 reviews. So sorry about that. All right. I'm going to actually just skip the integrations and move on down to email. What you can do with this widget also is embed it in an email. So if you were sending an email, if you were using an email service provider that allowed you to embed widgets, you could embed your widget into your email. Okay, so I think that this is ready to go. So I'm actually going to take that blue out because I don't like it. And I'm going to save these changes. And when you select save changes, it may ask you to save it to a project. So you would have to actually create a project and you would just call it whatever made sense to you, like my website, or if you were doing this for a client, the name of your client's website. Then select publish and copy the code and then come over to your website and you're going to obviously be in edit and you're going to add a code block. Then you're going to edit the code block and you're going to highlight everything inside and paste the code that you just copied. And probably we should stretch this out a little bit. I'm just going to center it and I'm going to select save. And there they are. Pretty cool. So if you have a robust library of reviews on your Facebook business page, I think that this is a great thing to add to your website. It speaks to your authority. It builds trust with potential customers who want to know that someone went before them. And if you do have a lot of Google reviews, Comment Ninja also has a widget for embedding Google reviews, and I'll show you what mine looks like. Here's mine. And what I'll do is I will leave a link here to that video so that you can watch that video and learn how to embed Google reviews onto your Squarespace website. I hope you guys found this helpful. And if you did, please give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel. Maybe share this with someone who you think could use some help with this. And remember, web design is really fun. But without a strategy, your beautiful website isn't going to get you very far. So head on over to my website and check out my blog, where I have lots and lots of free tips on how to build a more strategic Squarespace website. And also check out my strategy shop, where I have some digital products that can help you too. Thanks for watching.